How to Talk to Strangers, Part 2. The guiding principle of these expeditions is respect for others, and every explorer should pay careful attention to their own conduct. Be polite, keep a bit of extra physical distance, and if people aren't giving you signals that they're open to interaction, don't push it. Remember the tremendous cultural differences in expectations of eye contact and street behavior. Remember that context matters. These expeditions may not all make sense in the place where you are. So for these same reasons, I recommend against doing them in cultures you're not steeped in or native to. Number 3, get lost. This expedition is a sequence of requests that gets successively more involved as you progress, if you are able to, through each stage. Have some paper and a pen handy and keep your smartphone tucked away. The first step is to ask someone for directions. If they stop and give you directions, you ask them to draw you a map. If they draw you the map, you ask for their phone number so you can call if you get lost. If they give you their phone number, you call it. A surprising number of people give out their phone number. Over the years that I use this exercise in my classes, only one student ever actually made the call. I was surprised by how terrifying that last step was, she told me, how much space we give one another in this crowded city. I encourage you to be brave here. Take care in choosing a starting place and destination. You may have to try this a few times to find a pair that works well. It can't be too simple to get to, or the map won't seem necessary. But it shouldn't be so complicated that it's too hard to explain. I created this exercise almost a decade ago, and it's been made a little harder to pull off with the ubiquity of smartphones. You need to appear plausibly unable to navigate without a hand-drawn map or list of directions. Taking the time to draw or write directions is a slight incursion, and this exercise is about incrementally escalating incursions. This expedition also requires you to lie. Pay attention to how that feels. Number 4, ask a question. People talk if you give them the chance to. They talk when you listen. This expedition calls for asking a stranger a disarmingly intimate question and then simply listening to what they say. By disarmingly intimate, I mean a question that's unexpectedly real and personal. It's a question that goes to the center of a person's self. It should also be a question that doesn't require an act of remembering. You want something that people can tap into in an immediate, visceral way. My favorite is, what are you afraid of? A few people say things like spiders and mice and avoid the emotional invitation, but the majority of people go straight to their hearts and tell you about their fears of death, failure, loneliness, and loss. And the things they say are amazing to hear, amazing to have them shared with you. You can come up with your own questions too, and try out more than one. The structure works like this. It relies on using video or audio recording equipment. You can use your smartphone to help legitimate the intrusion and give it some logic. The camera is both a contrivance to permit the question and a little bit of mediation that allows people to open up. You approach someone who is not in a hurry and ask them if you can ask them a question on camera. Some people may be willing to answer you, but not on camera. That's fine. The point is the conversation, not the recording. Start recording before you pose your question. Then be quiet. If they ask you to clarify, go ahead, but don't give them any examples of answers. Your job is to listen. If the person seems comfortable talking, you can ask follow-up questions, but don't be too hasty. Give people a chance to fill their own silences. That's often when the magic really happens.